gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Seattle police have arrested a woman they say killed her father with an ice climbing axe. Court documents say 33-year-old Corey Burke admitted the crime to police. According to the report, Burke told investigators she ambushed her dad after an argument about turning the lights off in the house. Police.
Wow. So a woman completely crashes out on her father because he didn't turn the lights out, or maybe he wanted to turn the lights out and she didn't. Either way, this is a dispute that didn't have to turn fatal, but it did. And we really have to start looking at the mindset of these people who are crashing out on family members.
Say afterwards, Burke went upstairs and reportedly smashed several windows in their house, leading neighbors to call 911. Burke has no known criminal history. She is now charged with murder. Her bail was set at $2 million.
According to court papers, the first signs of trouble in this case happened when neighbors heard smashing glass. All of it on election night when the presidential race was about to be announced.
My first thought was, are people just getting upset over this election, or is someone actually trying to break it in? Or
Prosecutors say the actual answer was much more horrific. They say 33-year-old Corey Burke smashed nearly every window in this home immediately after killing her father with an ice axe.
Wow. So this individual completely not only vandalized her own home, but killed her father with an ice pick, an ice axe, whatever you want to call it. Completely brutal on election night, and this is the real story here. You have these Trump deranged people. I'm just gonna go out here and say it, go on a limb. This woman was allegedly trans or non-binary or whatever the hell, and they crash out. She, he, they, whatever the hell. This individual takes her father's life over an election. And this just goes to show that people keep saying the right is intolerant and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, you can get some wackos on every side of the aisle. But these people are not okay. Okay, these people who are in this LGBT leftist cult, the ones who are taking the gender and the sex conversation to wacko land, these people are not okay. They are completely out of their minds, and they need help for real.
the lights were off, and only 2 people live in that house, and only one of them was on the street.
This woman lives near Burke. As she watched the election results, she said she noticed flashing lights outside. She then says she noticed Burke covered in blood.
My thought was that something calamitous had happened in the household, and my first instinct was, did she kill her father with her bare hands?
Prosecutors say that that is exactly what happened, except the killing also involved an ice axe. All of it after they say Burke snapped at her father for simply turning on the lights inside this home.
When things like this happen, the whole neighborhood gets traumatized.
Burke has now been charged with first-degree murder.
Yeah, that's right, Mary. Those neighbors say that the daily demands of being a caretaker may have sent her over the edge. The result, she is currently locked up in the King County Jail on $2 million bail.
According to court papers, the first signs of trouble in this case happened when neighbors heard smashing glass. All of it on election night when the presidential race was about to be announced.
My first thought was, are people just getting upset over this election, or is someone actually trying to break it in? Or
Prosecutors say the actual answer was much more horrific. They say 33-year-old Corey Burke smashed nearly every window in this home immediately after killing her father with an ice axe.
The lights were off and only 2 people live in that house and only one of them was on the street.
This woman lives near Burke. As she watched the election results, she said she noticed flashing lights outside. She then says she noticed Burke covered in blood.
My thought was that something calamitous had happened in the household, and my first instinct was, did she kill her father with her bare hands?
Prosecutors say that is exactly what happened, except the killing also involved an ice axe. All of it after they say Burke snapped at her father for simply turning on the lights inside this home.
So he turned on the lights in his own home and he was killed for it. You got me messed up. Like, couldn't be me. But that's what you get when you have these people who are completely deranged and confused about who they are, and it never ends well.
When things like this happen, the whole neighborhood gets traumatized.
Burke has now been charged with first-degree murder.
And a check of criminal and court records show Burke has never faced serious trouble with the law before. Her father, by the way, was 67 years old. Coming to you live from Seattle tonight. Ryan Sims, Como News.
Well, a man is stabbed and killed with an ice climbing axe, and now police say his own daughter did it because he refused to turn off the lights.
And according to investigators, Matt, 33-year-old Corey Burke murdered her father in South Seattle last week. Fox 13's AJ Janival has been talking to neighbors today about this shocking murder.
I was in that small South Seattle neighborhood today. There's a lot of families, a lot of kids, all of them home because of today's holiday. The neighbors that I spoke to tell me this incident has shaken them. Shattered glass sits outside the smashed out windows of a family home on Spear Place South in Seattle. According to a Seattle police report, 33-year-old Corey Burke broke the windows of her home in an act of liberation after murdering her father.
An act of liberation is crazy. And this is the rhetoric of taking down the patriarchy and all the men hate online that these leftist nut jobs are enduring all day, and it is not sane in the slightest.
Charging documents state Burke admitted to police she killed her dad. According to the report, Burke told officers she ambushed her father after an argument about turning the lights off in the house. The documents say Burke tripped her dad, choked him, bit him, then hacked at him with an ice climbing axe several times. According to the documents, it seemed Burke struggled with mental health. She told police she was just reborn last month around the time of her actual birthday in late October. She said she struggled with
Reborn is wild.
Emotional boundaries with her dad, and when referencing the killing, told investigators she, quote, knew it needed to happen today. The murder happened last Tuesday on Election Day, according to the police report. Families in the neighborhood tell me they are struggling with the violence that happened so close to their homes. Several people I spoke to tell me Burke and her father lived together. They had been in the community for about a year. The neighbors I spoke to tell me they knew them from community events like block parties or asking Burke to pet sit. However, no one wanted to talk on camera. Many of the families in this community have very young children. The ones I spoke to told me they're trying to protect their kids from learning about the gruesome and unimaginable details of this case. Burke is charged with murder in the first degree. Her bail was set at $2 million. The prosecutor's office could not find any known previous criminal history. She's expected back in court later this month. Reporting in Seattle, I'm AJ Janival, Fox 13 News.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
We have new details concerning a brutal murder inside a home in Seattle's Rainier Beach neighborhood. A woman is charged with killing her elderly father with an ice axe after an argument. King 5's Sebastian Robertson joining us live from the King County Jail with the newest details tonight. Sebastian.
Hi, Joyce. 33-year-old Corey Burke is currently in the King County Jail. She's charged with murder. One, held on $2 million bail. Now, new court documents obtained by King 5 shine some light into what happened inside that family home.
1 week after Seattle police found a man slashed and bludgeoned to death, a private biohazard cleanup company is seen entering the home.
That's crazy that it happened so close.
It was neighbors that called 911 around 8 in the evening on November 5th, Election Day, when a woman was seen and heard smashing windows inside her home. Arriving officers encountered 33-year-old Corey Burke, who, according to court documents, would not give officers permission to search her home. She stated nobody else was inside. Investigators say she was unable to explain the blood on her face, and officers went in anyway, discovering the body of an older white male laying face down on the carpeted floor.
Dang. So these glider gremlins are crashing out on election night. I mean, we can't act like that was not a factor in this. And it's sad. It really is sad that this type of stuff is happening and people are really crashing out on their families over this election. It's not that serious, okay? The media lied to you. Trump is not as crazy as they're trying to make him seem. And if you are overreacting in this way, then you have been deceived. These glider gremlins are on demon time.
That man, later identified as Timothy Burke, Corey's father. Timothy Burke was found with multiple lacerations to his left side, back, head, and ears. Investigators also discovered a silver and blue ice, a pickaxe, lying on the living room floor.
I only saw all the cops. That's it. Block off the road, and so we came around this way.
From Harborview Medical Center, Corey Burke told an officer there was something important about Election Day, that when her father started arguing with her about the lights being shut off, she just freaked out. Police say she whispered to the interviewer, "I killed him." A source tells King 5 Burke was a training manager for Jeff Bezos' aerospace company Blue Origin. And a LinkedIn profile shows she was employed at the time of the killings.
So, I mean, she was working and this is her.
Source tells King 5 Burke was a training manager for Jeff Bezos' aerospace company Blue Origin.
So, a training manager for Jeff Bezos' aerospace company. And Jeff Bezos just made the decision for the Washington Post not to endorse a candidate. So that could have also driven her up a wall. Who knows? These people are crazy though. And this was definitely not justified at all.
And a LinkedIn profile shows she was employed at the time of the killings. A spokesperson tells King 5 Corey Burke is not currently employed with Blue Origin.
Police initially were able to detain Burke out of concern for her mental health. She was taken to Harborview, and that's where allegedly she confessed to investigators about the crime. She was then transferred to jail. Joyce?
All right, guys. So they didn't really show many pictures or anything. So I'm going to read this article from the New York Post. Wife of prominent trans writer hacked father to death with ice axe after Trump's election night victory. So she was a wife of a prominent trans writer. So, I mean, that just shows it right there. I mean, these people are ideologically brainwashed into this one Trump derangement syndrome, and then you have the trans stuff on top of that. It's just so much confusion going on. A space rocket program manager butchered her father with an ice axe on election night after a breakdown following President-elect Donald Trump's victory, and was found smiling and clapping, covered in her loved one's blood, cops said. So these are the details they didn't want to tell you on the little news reports. Smiling and clapping, covered in her loved one's blood, which was her father. Okay? What the hell is going on? You have these people who are completely insane and committing heinous crimes that they are saying that Donald Trump wanted to commit. Like, I don't see how you can be so hypocritical, but here they are. Corey Burke considered the bloody rampage in which she allegedly strangled, bit, and hacked her 67-year-old father in the $800,000 Seattle home they shared an act of liberation, charging documents allege. Burke, 33, is a training program manager at Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' spacecraft company, according to her LinkedIn, and is married to a prominent transgender writer, Samantha Leigh Allen, public record show. All right, so here you have it. These weirdos. I mean, these people are absolutely insane. I don't know how else to explain it. You're living a privileged ass life your dad is rich. He owns a $800,000 house in Seattle. And you over here crashing out. Allen is the author of the acclaimed book Real Queer America, LGBT Stories from Red States, and an editor at Them, a Condé Nast transgender news publication. The killing was meant to help people change their attachment to their parent and had to happen today, Burke told police. Her face covered in her father's blood, according to court documents. Burke had been upset about the election and knew Trump would handedly beat Vice President Kamala Harris when she allegedly snapped, apparently when her father, Timothy Burke, refused to turn off the lights. So he wasn't going to turn off the lights just because Kamala got absolutely mollywopped. She then went upstairs, grabbed an ice pickaxe, tripped her father, choked and bit him on the floor, and struck him repeatedly with the blunt and sharp ends of the tool, police said. Burke sat down next to her father and watched him die, then smashed all the windows in the house in what she described as an act of liberation, officers reported. When cops arrived, they found Burke clapping because she was so happy. So here you have it. These people are satanic as hell. I mean, I really don't want to hear anything from the trans community right now. Burke has worked at Blue Origin for about 5 years, according to her LinkedIn page, and lived with her father in a house in South Seattle. Burke told police she had a strained relationship with her father without strong boundaries that had left her feeling hyper-focused and disorganized. Trump's election victory overwhelmed her and finally pushed the tension to the breaking point, she said. When officers arrived, she came out of the house with her hands up and blood smeared on her face, but she said she didn't have any idea where the blood came from or who had smashed the windows. She later described the dispute with her father over the lights, eventually whispering, "I killed him," to one officer, charging documents said. Burke has been charged with first-degree murder and is being held on $2 million bond. And, you know, I just think it's so important to detail the types of people who are freaking out and how the media has sparked and inflamed this hysteria over Trump's win. And people thinking that he was Hitler and he was going to put people in concentration camps and he was going to take away trans rights and all this other stuff, when it's not even like that. He's literally trying to protect children from having their private parts mutilated forever without them being able to consent to any of these radical operations that are meant to demoralize people and also result in self-deletion, suicide. Many of these people are confused when they undergo these surgeries, and this is a thing that you can't take back. Now, I'm not saying that she underwent these surgeries, but obviously her man did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a man who transitioned to a woman, allegedly, which obviously is not possible, but I'm, giving him the benefit of the doubt. A man who tried to turn himself into a woman, and he was probably, leading her astray. It's just, it's not a good lifestyle. It really isn't. And it results into these lunatic outbreaks, which are completely out of line, uncalled for, and unnecessary. And she literally just deleted her dad, the man who birthed her. I mean, not birthed her physically, unless he's a trans woman. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this is a absolutely insane story, and I think we're going to get more details when this trial occurs. $2 million bail. She ain't got it. Obviously, her dad was the one with the money. And it's OV. It's OV. Life ruined. Your husband is no longer going to be able to see you unless you're behind bars. And he's just probably going to go find another bat-ish crazy person to go lay down with. Because, I mean, these people are sick. These people are absolutely sick. I don't know what to say, man. But these Transformer glider gremlins are on demon time.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.